welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and at the request of Patreon subscriber Brad, I am revisiting Temur Food Chain. I played this deck a couple of months ago on the channel, and it was also from Brad. The concept was sweet, but throughout the league, and we realized some structural issues, and at the end did a rebuild to clean up some of those things. And here we are with the rebuild. Brad immediately fired it back in with the updates. The biggest change is we're deeper in on Unstable Amulet now. There were a couple of these in the deck the first time around, and then some other ways to win the game, but this is so clean. It's just a 2-mana cantrip that also wins the game if you're going off with Food Chain, because whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, it deals 1 to each opponent. Mist Hollow Griffin you can cast from exile, Squee you can cast from exile or graveyard, Food Chain exiles it to make mana. That's the combo. Eat the Griffin, cast the Griffin, opponent takes 1, eat the Griffin, cast the Griffin, opponent takes 1, and around we go. I tweaked the removal just a little bit. Galvanic Discharge, instead of 4 Lightning Bolts, we split them. Lightning Bolt still does important things like doming an opponent who's at a small life total, which could happen incidentally with Unstable Amulet. This does ping your opponent when you do things like bring Brazen Borrower back from an adventure. Casting Mist Hollow Griffins when you don't have Food Chain is a big part of how this deck plays, especially with the 1-up Manipulate Fate, exile 3 cards from your deck, and then draw a card. This is basically draw 4 for 2 mana. Lightning Bolt finishing an opponent off who's taken some pings is pretty important, but Galvanic Discharge, you can get some extra energy in the bank, and if you have 2 extra energy around, Unstable Amulet can flip another card if you just need to dig. There's also the cool emergency dig option where you can target any creature with Galvanic Discharge, choose to do 0 damage to it, and just get 3 energy, which can let you bank another card with Unstable Amulet if you need to convert your removal spell into a potential combo outlet. That works. We upped the questing druids. There were 2 in the last build. There's 3 in this one. This digs for your pieces, just like everything else. And whenever you cast a spell that's white, blue, black, or red, put a +1 counter on this. That gets infinitely large if you're casting Mist Hollow Griffins or Squeeze out of Food Chain. Kinda does everything you want. The fair side of the deck, we've got 2 Uro, a main deck Endurance with a couple more in the sideboard, and some Ice Fang Waddles to gum up the board while we're doing this other stuff in the background. And Shifting Woodland added since the last one. If you have Delirium, you can pay 4 and turn this into a copy of target permanent in your graveyard. How about Food Chain? Surprise, you're dead. And there it is. That is the updated take on Unstable Amulet Food Chain from Brad. Let's play it. There's a new game store in California's Bay Area. Merlion Games is a premium LGS with a focus on stocking and supporting Eternal formats. They have the best buy prices in the area and offer a 10% bump on trade credit. They run weekly Modern, Legacy, and Pauper with larger monthly events for Legacy, Pauper, Vintage, CEDH, and Canadian Highlander. If you're around the Bay Area and need a place to play, check out Merlion Games in San Carlos, California. I'm on the play in round 1. This hand's a little awkward because it has the basic mountain, which doesn't cast Ice Fang Coatl. I have 2 Surveil lands in the deck, and I do have Force Blue card and some removal. I will keep this. Opponent kept 7. I'm just going to play Scalding Tarn and pass. Marsh Flats. Alright, I'm going to fetch. Hope I don't get stifled out of a Marsh Flats. That would be embarrassing. I think I want Hedge Maze. Blue and green are just the core colors of my deck here, and I already have red. Hey. Alright, there we go. We will develop here, and I'll just play out the Trop. Let myself cantrip off of Coatl if I don't need to force. Marsh Flats is usually in combo decks or ultra fair off-meta nonsense. Like, this could cast Dark Ritual or it could cast Oscillate Pride, and there's basically nothing in between. Yeah, or Entomb, how about that? I'll fight over that. Okay, we won that fight. Good news, everyone. Bad news is my hand barely does anything now. I have to hope they're like a creature hybrid. Like, if they play Tamiyo now, I'm actually ready for that. Wasteland's a little annoying, but could have been worse. I no longer have the card I needed to cast off that tropical island. Yo, alright, Manipulate Fate. Or not Manipulate Fate, Unstable Amulet. Manipulate Fate would have been the best card in my deck to draw there, but Amulet, this is its job. We dig, we look for cards. It's a win con. And I've got 2 energy. I don't have a land drop to make. I'm just going to pass. Oh, good. They had 2 Entombs. Well, we're extremely dead. Endurance is the only thing I could hit here if they have another Reanimate. Tracks in the graveyard. Thoughtseize. Okay, well, that's good. I was going to debate whether I should be flipping off of Amulet or not to hide what my deck does, but if they're going to Thoughtseize me anyway. Now I can't hit Endurance, though. Oh, good. Badlands. Nice. All right, so they are not blue-black. They are traditional Reanimator. Ooh, Arden. This card's sweet. Demons you control have Menace, Lifelink, and Haste. And at the beginning of combat on your turn, exile up to 1 target creature card from a graveyard. If you exile a card this way, make a token of it that's a 5/5 demon. That means it also has haste. I actually have a modern Jund Goryo's deck coming featuring Arden. I'm gonna... Alright, I hit my land drop off, Unstable Amulet. Endurance is a good draw here. That's not a great draw. I do have the ability to kill this 4/4 before they get into combat, so they do have to go for Atraxa if they have Reanimate. Barrogoyf. Alright, can I kill that? I can. There are already instants in the graveyard, so Barrogoyf won't grow if I try to smash it. I'm going to go to Surveil Land first and see what I can make happen. Force of Negation's interesting. I'm actually too far behind now to do that. I either have to take a hit from Barrogoyf or get rid of this. I think I'm just going to get rid of it. Another Amulet. Okay. Well, I'll fetch for another tropical island. Yeah, I can't get forest here, and I need more green, probably. I guess I didn't need to do that. Or I needed to get volcanic island if I wanted to Amulet and do another thing. Damn it. Alright. Played around Wasteland to my detriment. I will kill this Barrogoyf. Alright, that was a mistake. Faithless Looting. Okay, they're still scrounging over there. But they are seeing a lot of cards. If I just find the one of main deck Endurance, I get to undo this entire game. They discarded 2 lands. They have another land. We got a sigh in the chat. Yeah, it looks like they're in range that something should have happened by now, but it hasn't. Right, I could use Brainstorm to set up Amulet, or I could Brainstorm after I Amulet to see deeper. I think I'd rather use Brainstorm to set up Amulet. And I think I want to leave green available just in case I spike the PAL. I did not spike the PAL. What I did do is find Force Mist Hollow. If that is a force I can play. I will have to draw through the Misty Rainforest, but I think my opponent is struggling enough that that's okay. I'll put back Misty and Force, and then Unstable Amulet. This can exile Force, put it safely in my hand, if I need that. Or safely not in my hand. I have access to Force of Will right now. Okay, passing the turn. If they Thoughtseize my Mist Hollow Griffin, I still don't have Force of Will. But I will have Hardcast Force next turn. Wasteland. I guess I'm glad I fetched green when I did. Alright, not the best. I think I would rather have Force of Will in exile than in my hand. And it's one or the other here. So I'm drawing a fetch land. They have successfully played around Hardcast Force. 5 in their pool. I'm out of cool lands I can fetch. Ponder. That card's pretty good. Ponder. Another Mist Hollow. If I get a second one, that does guarantee I can pitch Force. Alright, no shuffle. Okay, Thoughtseize doesn't take me off Force of Will anymore. And I can cast a Griffin and start beating down next turn. They have 6 mana in play. That's just really where a Reanimator wants to be. I guess I'll get a basic Forest at this point. Now I can hardcast Force. Is that better than putting a Griffin into play? No, I think I want to start bashing. Big Griffs, let's go. Him to Turok. That does clear the way. It doesn't help me to force this. Like if they have Reanimate right now, if they threaded the needle, then good job. But otherwise I'm untapping into Hardcast Force and it's fine. Cool. Got away with it. Glad I played out that Griffin. They actually found a way to punish that line. I am going to be careful here because this Force of Will is very good. If I brainstorm into a food chain or a shifting woodland, I just win on the spot. But if I miss, then I lose out on Force of Will potentially. Reanimate. All right. Cast. Force of Will on this. Have they threaded the needle? They had a clear shot last turn and didn't take it, so I don't think they have threaded the needle. Okay. It's my turn again. Besiege you. That's not important. Attack. I think if they had Bowmaster or anything like that, they would have done it by now. I'm not playing around that shit. Yeah, Manipulate Fate. The draw 10. 10's more than it actually draws, but it is a lot. Manipulate Fate. Exile. Squee. And probably just some lands at this point, because my Griffin... There's one more Griffin and one land I'm going to exile. Maybe it's Galvanic Discharge. Is it possible that card's any good? Oh, the old Discharge my Griffin, charge my things. Yeah, that's probably good. Yeah, I think I'm just going to exile a basic forest here. Yep, that works for me. And I ripped an island, which may or may not be helpful. Opponent's at 7, which means reanimate on any of their real creatures is off. Right, I think I am going to brainstorm right now. Brazen Borrower is a good hit. Galvanic Discharge does charge my Amulet. Alright, I'm going to put back Misty and Discharge, and I'll pass. I can bounce a creature if it comes into play. They can't cast actual Reanimate anymore. Okay, they're just passing the turn. Attack for 3. Squee deals as much damage as Griffin does here. Alright, Squee, ping ping. And I'll pass with Brazen Borrower still available. Now they're at 2. That's a lot less than 7. Even reanimating Barrogoyf is now off the table. Dark Ritual. They might like cast an Archon of Cruelty here, but I can beat that too. Dark Ritual, Dark Ritual. Archon of Cruelty resolves. Yeah, I'll just let the trigger fully resolve. Sack Squee, discard Galvanic Discharge. I can still bounce this when I need to. 1 card left in their hand. In the end step, Petty Theft, which is lethal because I attack for 3, then cast Brazen Borrower for 2 damage. Okay, so opponent ran pretty bad there. They're 32 cards, so 28 cards into their deck, and they saw 1 reanimate. I got pretty lucky there, but I will take it. We did see the difference, though, between Combo Reanimator and Tempo Reanimator. Like, what if their deck had Brainstorm and Ponder in it? That would have been so much worse for me. But Endurance, Veil, Fairy Macabre. I think Discharge comes out. I know we saw Barrogoyf, and it almost affected the game, but I'm not living scared of that. They are black-red, more combo-centric Reanimator. They might pivot onto Show and Tell. I think I'm cutting the bolts too, and maybe 1 Coatl. Coatl pitching to my 3 Endurances and 5 Forces is pretty big. I think I can live without Squee. Just all the red cards out, bunch of green cards in. Let's do it. Okay, Endurance, green card, in a way that does not lose to Thoughtseize. I will keep this. It's a little scary knowing they're a Wasteland deck, but I still have to cover Entomb Reanimate where I can. Basic Swamp, Cabal Therapy. Don't name Endurance, that would be so sick. Surgical Extraction, Force of Will, Food Chain. Force of Will. Force of Will is the normal thing to name there. I just happen to have the other pitch interaction that their deck cares about. I do have to be worried about any creature, though. If they play like a Bowmaster or Dothy Voidwalker or any little dumbass like that, they can flashback Cabal Therapy with it. Ooh, Ponder's really good if this land is still in play next turn. I think I'm going to dump the Ponder, because I'd rather just hit a land. And if this land doesn't get wasted, I have Seek the Beast anyway. Okay, glad we made that play. Alright, deck. Sturdy mana, lots of basics. Veil of Summer's sick. Now I hope they do Cabal Therapy me. Him to Turok me. Him to Turok me. Dothy Voidwalker. Boo. Alright. I could draw a card off Veil with that, but I think I would rather simply not do that. Force of Will. This is getting awkward. That Wasteland doing a lot of work here. I think I'm just going to discard Mistalo Griffin, which goes into the Void, which I can cast, and my opponent can sack Dothy Voidwalker to cast. It's kind of a weird one, but here we are. Endurance is also a ritual. If I resolve Food Chain, I can pitch a green card, have Endurance in play briefly, exile it for 4 mana, and off we go. Right, well, I must interact with this because it will kill me. In for 3, I'm at 16. Plenty of time to figure this out. Lots of lands in my deck. There's one. That one doesn't cast Seek the Beast, but we're getting there. There is a Force of Will in the Void if they want to just hold up and not get comboed out. That's something they have access to. Come on, deck. Burrow. We're getting closer to helpful things. Entomb. That resolves. Dumped a Colossal Grave Reaver. Hell yeah, I love this card. This was in the Sultai Commander deck for Tarkir Dragonstorm, a set that I was an ambassador for. I got to open this deck and see this card before it was spoiled. Sick one. It doesn't have to be in play before it matters, though. In that regard, I'm chilling. Chain of Smog targeting me. No thanks. Okay, that fizzles. They now have a Veil of Summer in the Void as well. I've drawn an extra card. My god. Alright. One Wasteland. Who would win? A deck full of good cards or one Wasteland? The answer is one Wasteland, it seems. I could just play a Questing Druid. I'm actually going to do that. I still have Endurance Green card, and now I have a body in play to jumpstart Food Chain. They can Cabal Therapy me at any time with this Voidwalker. The Voidwalker is the only thing they have going on, though, but if they pivot into a Reanimate, they might suddenly do that. Witherbloom Apprentice. Yep, can't stop that guy. Deck, please. We need a land, and we're doing stuff. I can attack for infinite if I draw a land right now. Gee. Oh my god! No one's ever run this bad in the history of Magic. It's never happened. I don't believe you. Thoughtseize. I get drained. Yeah, go ahead, dig in. Can't really stop you. They took Questing Druid. Okay. And they have Chain of Smog, which kills me. Well, alright. We took turns both running insanely bad. Now let's have a game 3. They have some targets for Lightning Bolt in, which isn't a complete surprise, but is a bummer. Force of Negation is worse now that they have a creature pivot. I think I want some bolts in. I think I like Lightning Bolt better than Galvanic Discharge, even with the energy synergy. Do I shave a Coatl? Or do I find room here? Maybe I only get one Lightning Bolt. Yeah, alright, one Lightning Bolt in the deck. Removing their creature wasn't really my problem. My problem was I didn't have mana to play the game with. Okay, I will keep this hand. Scalding Tarn, pass. I can't play around Wasteland anyway, so I'm going to get Thundering Falls. Unstable Amulet. I don't want 2 of these right now. I want to hit my land drops, and then we'll figure everything else out after that. Right, Amulet, get in there. Just banking this win con in play feels good. Unfortunately, Fairy Macabre doesn't work if I flip it off Amulet. That might be an argument to play Surgical in that spot instead. Just looking for any synergy here. If they Dark Ritual, Witherbloom, Chain of Smog, that's pretty scary here. I would need to flip an answer off Amulet. But they've done nothing to check my hand. There's the Ritual. Oh god, they've done it. Come on, Force of Will. Oh no. I think I'm dead. Oh, Hymn to Tarok. That's such a good deal. Alright. I'm so happy to get Hymn to Tarok here. They took Endurance and Manipulate Fate. Those were 2 good cards in my hand. So now I'm no longer dead. Drew Shifting Woodland for turn. I can play that. I have access to a lot of good cards now. Now I hope they do go for Chain of Smog because they can just shred their hand and then I bolt after I lose 2 life. That's a deal. And they can't really attack me with any of the things that they have because Veil of Summer is just face up over here. All their discard spells are blanks now. Marsh Flats. That's Barrowgoyf mana. I haven't seen a Bowmaster yet, but it could exist. They fetch for bad lands. Faithless Looting. Draining me for life. The passive Witherbloom life is relevant here. And Veil of Summer doesn't stop it. They will be down to 1 card in hand after this Faithless Looting, though. Discarded Fear of Missing Out and Entomb. Their deck is some stuff. And Step Icefang Coatl, leaving up Veil of Summer. Another Coatl. Hit a land drop. I'll take any land drop I can get. Start pushing damage. I'll probably just bolt this Apprentice in the near future. If it attacks, I'll just bolt it. Bolt is in my deck literally for this card. But if they reanimate Witherbloom, alright, maybe I will be a little more patient. To be determined. We'll figure it out together. I got a lot of life to work with. There's Barrowgoyf. I'm going to play Ice Fang in response, just in case I hit Force of Will or something that helps me here. Oh, okay. That's a big hit. Now I just need a Griffin and I win. I could Veil of Summer just a cantrip here. Brainstorm is also a cantrip, though. I'm looking for a 3-outer because my Squeeze in my sideboard and my Manipulate Fate was discarded. I think if I take it slow, that's safer. Questing Druid. Alright, I got a lot of options now. Okay, I'm gonna Brainstorm and see if I just win, and then I can leave up all my other stuff if this doesn't work. Uro is a redraw. If I put back Brainstorm and Food Chain, then I can end step Questing Druid, play the Food Chain, Brainstorm, see a lot of cards. Right, Brainstorm and Food Chain go back. I could also just Uro now, leaving up Veil of Summer for a turn. But I can't leave up Veil of Summer and Lightning Bolt. Right, that's not a good idea. Brainstorm, Food Chain, go back. Hit my land drop. Now I have Death Touch, and I can defeat a Barrogoyf, because the Quaddles count each other. Fear of Missing Out. Yep, there's that one. Lots of sweet cards in my opponent's deck. They looted away a swamp. Do they want to trade Barrogoyf for Ice Fang Quaddle? They do not. That's good. End of turn. I'll seek a beast. We know what the seeking is. It's Brainstorm, Food Chain. Misty Rainforest. I am gonna Brainstorm now. Come on, Griffin. Endurance is not Griffin. I'll put those two back. Hit my land drop. Find a basic island. Investing in the Food Chain. That's happening. And this means I can cast Endurance basically whenever. Okay, I feel pretty good about my position. Like the control aspect of this combo control deck is afoot here. Dark Ritual deals 1 to me. They do have Delirium. Flashback Faithless Looting. It's another 1 to me. Discarded 2 Witherblooms. Chain of Smog. Who's this targeting? Yourself, I assume. Alright. Bolt this Witherbloom Apprentice. Been sitting on that for the entire game. But they did find a spot to Chain of Smog where it cost them nothing. Oh shit. They copied it targeting me and I didn't notice that happened. God, this Veil of Summer. Just wasted. Just wasted. Oh my god. Alright, well. Uro's in my graveyard. That was a mistake. Huge spew. Okay. I should have seen that coming. A weird interaction from a spot that is exactly how that would work. Okay, so they want to lose their whole board here. I will oblige them. Okay, we are both top decking, but I have Uro in my graveyard and Questing Druid in exile. There's nothing I care about them reanimating in the graveyard. Do I want to play Druid or do I want to... No, I want to leave up Veil of Summer. Even though I had a chance to use it and it didn't matter. Blue, blue, green, green. I'm exiling things from my graveyard that they could reanimate. Those things don't help me. Uro deals 1 on the way in. That's awesome. Very Macabre. Cool. Okay. That last turn was a little sloppy, but I'm still ahead. Still thriving over here. Reanimate. Good thing I have Fairy Macabre. I'll take Barrogoyf and Fear of Missing Out of the graveyard. Does this matter at all? What the second card is? Mostly not, but let's take it. Alright, deck. So many things that just win the game, if we can find them. Deck with Uro. That draws a card. Hey, ding, 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 ding. Now I win. Alright, took a moment, but it's fine. GG. Exile Griffin for blue. Cast it for blue. Take 1. Who's the Witherbloom now? Alright, we had 2 kind of garbage games, then 1 actually really good game where we both made a bunch of decisions. GG's. Cool deck. On to the next round. The BoshNRoll channel is brought to you by Tales of Adventure. TOAMagic.com has almost 100,000 unique cards in stock. They offer free track shipping on every order, plus next day or 2-day options when you have an event coming up fast. They offer on-site pickup at major Magic events throughout the US, so you're never scrambling before your tournament. Stop by their booth to buy, sell, or trade at upcoming regional championships, Magic Con, Spotlight Series, and more. I love their selection of individually scanned high-end cards that show you exactly what you're buying. And the best part is saving 5% on every order with promo code BOSH. From Ancestral Recall to Zombie Master, get what you need quickly and in one place at TOAMagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm on the play in round 2. The basic land mana base Obviously comes with some costs, but 2 brainstorms I'm still keeping. I'm against Ozymandias, who is a known legacy grinder. He plays a large variety of decks. Or there's 2 Ozymandiases on Magic Online. There is the content creator, and I think Maverick player is the other one. All right, but I don't remember which number is which. Duress. All right. Sure. Take a brainstorm. Have fun. I wonder if I'm getting stormed out here. Like, is this going to be followed up by a Lotus Petal? I would like to brainstorm and hide the other brainstorm here, but I can't actually hide all my things. Like Unstable Amulet is still a hit. The problem was I didn't want to get dazed. Interesting. I still don't want to get dazed, but I also don't want to play my land. Seems they got me. All right, I'll play Brainstorm and pass. Or I'll play Island and pass. Tempo wouldn't have Duress in it. This is definitely a combo deck. It might be Reanimator with some extra discard, or it could be some Storm deck or something totally off meta. Temur Show and Tell. But Duress is not going to be alongside Nethergoyf in a deck. Otawara, yeah, definitely doing something else over there. I think I do want to Brainstorm in the end step. I hate doing that without a fetch, but also, whatever. Okay, hide Food Chain. Talk the Amulet. Maybe I'm supposed to hide Questing Druid there. But I'm definitely killing Tamiyo before anything happens with that. Yeah, I think Questing Druid is supposed to be on top of my deck right now. That's the most important card. That's what's going to get me out of my Brainstorm lock. Stock up. All right. It is starting to look like some kind of Show and Tell deck, maybe. Thoughtseize. Rip them up. Goodbye, Questing Druid. I loved you. Though this does give me the Puncher's Chance back. Like, if they Show and Tell and I get to put in my Food Chain and I get a turn to do anything, that's something I can operate with. All right, Amulet. I'm going to use this immediately to try to hit my land drop. Griffin. All right, there's a Griffin in exile. Opponent now knows what I'm doing. And if they Show and Tell but don't kill me, I have a shot to win. Like, I can put in Food Chain, get to my turn, and if I draw a land, or I guess it just has to be a land because my green sources are over here. Maybe that means if Show and Tell happens, I should put in Uro. All right, they're just stocking up. Trying not to die over there. Or trying to kill me. Unclear. That's the thing about stock up. It could put Show and Tell or Force of Will in your hand. Tamiyo. 5 cards over there. I hate this. I hate my life. I hate you, deck. All right, passing the turn. And this was, my opponent didn't even wasteland me. This is just the basic lands catching up to me. This basic mountain that I barely want in the deck at all. Showing up once again in a matchup where basic lands do not seem important. I crack the clue immediately. They're looking for action, trying to bury this game. My goodness. Kind of a land maybe in the future. I don't want Galvanic Discharge. I want a green source. Tamiyo attacks. They can go up to 8 cards in hand now. Even if they don't combo kill me, pretty good chance there's disruption. Ponder. This is a flip on the Tamiyo. There she goes. Plus, that can buy Thoughtseize next turn. Oh my goodness. Saying there's a chance. Except not really. I'll get this forest, and how do I actually want to do this? I think it's Ice Fang Coatl and invest in success. This gives me a starting base of mana to play on. Okay, here we go. Getting something going here. I have made a land drop already this turn, so I will pass. Thoughtseize can take one of the Food Chains if they just grab Thoughtseize, but now that I have Coatl, I can threaten Tamiyo in combat if they care. Buying back stock up, alright. Trying to win. They're trying so hard to win. Oh shit, that was Show and Tell. Well, I'll put in Food Chain. Omniscience. Well, I've certainly lost. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Guess I'm technically not dead. Alright, Emrakul's in. Yeah, I should have flipped. I saw them buy back the stock up and then spend 3 mana, and I just clicked through Show and Tell without realizing it was a different card. I should have flipped to see if I could find Force of Will off of this amulet. If they have literally anything to follow up in their 7 cards they're looking at, plus draw step next turn, then I'm in the garbage, and none of this matters. Backup Omni. I could even block and kill Emrakul with my Death Touch creature. I don't think I want Emrakul back in their deck where they could stock back up into it. Alright, Annihilate 6 is all my lands and this amulet. This isn't pretty. Block Tamio just to make sure I don't get ninja'd, but I've lost Death Touch. The old Kaito Reanimator deck. That would actually be sick if they pick up Emrakul to Kaito, then re-hardcast Emrakul. Oh my god. Please do that. I'm actually hoping that happens. Cling to Dust targeting Island. Flipping Tamio before it takes 1 damage. Killing the other Tamio. I go to 4. Atraxa. There's Show and Tells, Cling to Dust, Stock Up, Ponder. I don't see a Force of Will in there. Stock Up, Island, Cling to Dust is all they got off that. There goes the Stock Up. Clinging an Island. 9 cards in hand. Another Atraxa. Alright, there's a bunch of Emrakuls. Alright, they found it. That's a lot of cards looked at without a Force of Will. Like, that I've looked at. My opponent might just have 4 Force of Wills in hand already, and they weren't in the pool, or this might be a forceless strategy. A Pyroblast, I like. Veil of Summer, I like. Force of Vigor can clip. An Omniscience, maybe. Disruptor Flute can name, show, and tell. Consign can hit Emrakul, but I don't really... It can stop the extra turn trigger. I'm not interested in that. Okay. I don't need Endurance. We saw Tamio. I think I'm going to cut the bolts, but leave the discharges in. Uro seems really slow here, but it is blue and green for all my pitch things. I think Squee is going to be cut pretty regularly from my deck. It's just like a redundant, slightly cheaper Mist Hollow Griffin if we need to jumpstart the combo with 1 less mana. But that's not really what this matchup's going to be about. I could cut the basic mountain. My opponent's not going to attack my mana, I don't think. 20 land's still pretty good, and mountain's the worst one. I think Uro is the worst card here. How important is it that it's green? I'm boarding in. I'm still net +1 green card and -1 pitch green card. Alright. I think this is fine. Carpet of Flowers could come in as well. No, I think I'm okay like this. Alright, I'll keep this. It knows what it's about. I can fetch the Is It Surveil land and have all my mana. Tamio's here. Thundering Falls. Seas Volcanic Island. I don't really need that. I'm going to just buy some time against this Tamio. This is as big a problem as Show and Tell is. Put it back. Thoughtseize. Well, I'm going to lose my Brainstorm, which is a shame because I was really counting on that. And Tamio's so good. This combo decks get to just do that. Alright, I'm going to play Hedge Maze. Dump Basic Island. This Brazen Borrower can start to challenge Tamio next turn. My opponent has perfect info. If they can beat a Force of Will, then they win here. Alright, cracking the clue immediately. Undercity Sewer. Alright. Refreshingly chill turn, all things considered. Dump Scalding Tarn. Amulet. It is more important for me to challenge Tamio right now than it is to develop my own plan. Stock up. I'm going to respond by casting Brazen Borrower. Just in case they would find a Force of Will to protect Tamio. Let's get this in now. I don't think this deck's going to have a lot of removal in it. Alright, cool. I get a turn. Ooh. I love manipulating fate. I like unstabling amulets even more, though. Alright, unstable amulet. We're going to get Hydroblasted. I won't fight over that if that happens. Hydroblast confirmed. Manipulate fate. I'll draw 4 a different way. Okay, opponent has the correct amount of respect here. I am actually going to fight over this. If they were going to show and tell me, I don't think they would care about 3 Mist Hollow Griffins being in exile. And I still have the random draw to spike a blue card here. That didn't work. I am going to sandbag Misty Rainforest and make them wonder. At Force Pitch to Tamio. Ponder. Now Tamio can attack this turn and just eat the clue in combat. Get out of harm's way. Ancient Tomb. Cracking the clue. Flip the Tamio. I am currently washing out against Tamio. Like, it +2s, I hit it for 2. Uh-oh. Okay, stock up. That's not the one I was worried about. So I'm still falling behind quickly in this game. I attack Tamio. And now Icefang Coatl is something I can add to the board and dig a little bit while leaving up Force of Will. Or I could play Misalo Griffin and pitch Coatl to force. Yeah, I'm getting on board here. This actually kills Tamio next turn. And then I can start going face and stop doing this stupid little dance. Tamio's up to 4. Opponent's 7 cards in hand don't feel good, I gotta be honest. Stock up to 8 cards in hand. The stocks are up. Yeah, if they just go Thoughtseize, Show and Tell here, they win. Alright. Duress works just as well. I guess I'm putting in Ice Fang Coatl and hoping I'm not dead. I'm gonna fetch for Volcanic Island to thin out my deck a little bit and hope to draw exactly Pyroblast right now. Okay. What do you got? That's good enough. Alright, GG. Yeah, this matchup feels really bad. We're just kind of both jockeying around a 3-mana effect that ends the game, except their whole deck is built on making it happen, and they win immediately when it does, and my deck is built on making the game last longer and not dying to creatures, which they barely have. On to the next round.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the draw in round 3 with a hand that mostly doesn't do anything. Force, no blue card. Squee, no combo. I'll mulligan this. This still doesn't have a blue card, but at least we're doing something. I'm going to bottom a Scalding Tarn and hope I'm not dead on turn 0. Can't quit the Squee. The Squee and the basic mountain both just love being in my hand. Alright, now I got a combo. Making progress. If my opponent just doesn't cast any cards or do anything for 4 turns, I have a Goldfish. Hedge Maze to the top. It's the mirror match. Up the Beanstalk. This is not the mirror match. And they just resolved the most important card in their deck. I'm going to get the Is It Land. Thundering Falls. Don't need Basic Island. Force of Will. Nice of you to show up. But that is a step in the direction of comboing. I will not complain. I'm going to get Tropical Island because I don't think this match is going to be about Wasteland or Ice Fang Coatl. They force a Willed Pitching Ponder. I'll force back. This card is actually really important to me. We're in business. I gotta cheese them out. I can't win a long game against Up the Beanstalk. Plains. Leyline Binding. How does this work? You may play it until you exile another card with this artifact. Alright. Sounds like I can play that forever. Ponder in the exile zone. Okay, good news. I can cast it. It's legal. I could cast Squee the Immortal right now. Getting that in play, and it's something that they actually can't deal with. Like, their whole deck just... There's not a thing they could do. This might be a Squee beatdown game. Do all 18 points with this unkillable object. If opponent is tuned into weird off-meta decks, they should know what I'm doing by now. If the Unstable Amulet didn't give it away, the Squee definitely does. Leyline Binding's bad news, though. That card being in their deck means they could break up a fully resolved food chain, and even if I start looping, they could stop me. Ponder Shuffle. Underground Sea is a fresh land type. Brainstorm. I'm gonna Ponder now and see if I can hit my land drop with the plan of Questing Druid in their next end step. Shifting Woodlands is cool. Beseiju can blow up the Beanstalk or the Binding. Okay, I think I'm actually gonna put Beseiju in my hand and not play it as a land. Let's go, Squee. Give him the squeak down. You're 15. Squee doing its job. Swords to Plowshares. Adorable. It'll be back. Cycling Xander's Lounge. Sure. Doing that in the main phase looks pretty desperate. Like they just need anything to do. I'll seek a beast in the end step. This will be Uro and Shifting Woodland. Both of which I can play. Get the full value. Woodland. Uro. Leave the availability to hit my land and play Unstable Amulet, which I did. Get another Trop, play Amulet. They Force of Willed the first one. Are they still worried? Cool. That's in there. That was a pretty good turn. I've got a collection of badasses in exile I can just keep deploying. And my opponent will take one as I do it. Okay, I'm gonna Unstably Amulet. Mountain. Cool. I'll play that as my land for turn. Questing Druid. Ping you. Squee. Ping you. And make a +1. Alright, we're doing stuff. Squee the Immortal. Back. After eating a Swords to Plowshares. Build your own Lightning Helix. Take 2, I gain 2. Mystic Sanctuary is getting back Ponder. This is an opponent desperate to find anything to do. There's the Ponder. And I have the Shifting Woodland eventuality here, where I can cast Food Chain again. If they fend off both, I just attack for 4, and then next turn I can turn Shifting Woodland into Food Chain. And they gotta have a lot of answers to that. Pernicious Deed. That's a pretty good answer. I could just Besage You, the Deed. Alright, now I gotta actually figure this out. Alright, I think I'm gonna end step Brainstorm. I just want to make this Questing Druid tempting enough for them to fight over. Manipulate Fate. Banger. Alright, put 2 back. Draw for turn. Manipulate the Fates. Get all those Griffins in exile. 3 of those. Draw 4 in a game that's about resources. Another Food Chain. I like it. Alright, do they want to take 6 here? Or is it Deed time? Alright, they took the 6. That's exciting. If I cast a Griffin, that's not good. If I cast Uro, yeah, I might as well cast Uro. They take 1 on cast. They go to 5. Yeah, if they lose Beanstalk if they Deed. Like, that's actually a big deal. Okay. Green, green, blue, blue. Oh, I gotta manage my Delirium here a little bit. I just didn't even think about it. Exiling all the lands is still right, though, because I can just fetch. All right. Opponent takes 1. Questing Druid gets bigger. I can Besage You. Right now, I have 2 legends in play. All right. Every Food Chain I play is in my hand, plus the Shifting Woodland. I have access to 5 Food Chains right now. They will have to Pernicious Deed this turn unless there's a Supreme Verdict or some other way to clear the board. And Deeding gets rid of Beanstalk. Ooh, all right. When this creature enters, return target non-creature non-land permanent with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the mana spent to cast this. Oh, that's a cool trick. So they're gonna wipe the board, and then when this card comes in, get back Beanstalk. Cool. Or they could get back the Deed. Sweet. Yeah, the Warp cards, this Reclaimer thing and the Quantum Riddler are both cards that have been considered for Beanstalk. If my opponent taps out, they are just dead, though. I can copy Uro and just attack for 6. Uh-oh, that Ponder was probably a mistake. They would have to have Solitude, which is a card they might have if they're, like, Bant Beans. This might be a thing. I've got a Surveil land left in my deck to grab. The creature warps out. Edge Maze. Don't want Scalding Tarn. Do I want Scalding Tarn? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't think I want Scalding Tarn. It's almost good, but it's not quite there. I guess I have to just put them on Solitude or die here. Even if they do have Solitude, it costs them that card in a spot that's bad for them, and no other card helps. Green, green, colorless, colorless. Shifting Woodland is Uro. Awesome. Okay, sweet. 5 Food Chains available, needed 0. I did not think we were going to win that game. Carpet of Flowers, Pyroblast. Didn't really, or they did show me that, like, Reanimator Angel for endurance reasons. Force of Vigor is good here, blowing up Leyline Bindings and Beanstalks. Lightning Bolt seems to do basically nothing. Galvanic Discharge, same problem. Yeah, I think I'm going no discharge plus endurance. Just something that can jump in and do anything. Looks good to me. Force of Negation can become Veil of Summer. I think this is a matchup I can cut the basic Mountain in as well, especially since I'm bringing in Carpet. Do I want a 3rd Endurance or a 2nd Veil? I think I want the 3rd Endurance. Let's keep that pressure going. Alright, let's go. I hated playing against Food Chain as traditional Bant control back in the day. Beanstalk's a little different. That engine is more powerful than things we had back then. This hand needs a mana, but I like it. I'm willing to fight over up the Beanstalk in these matchups early and often. Deafening Silence. Okay. That does not stop Food Chain at all. Island go. All right, moment of truth. Deck, don't betray me. Oh, that's so close. I guess I'm going to my cleanup step. And I'm just going to discard a food chain. All right, they're brainstorming in the end step. I can't cast food chain and protect it with force of will. I can stop them from functioning with force of will for a while. They've got 5 cards in their hand. I'm still not worried. At some point I will become worried, but we're not there yet. My hand is really good if I can start doing anything, which might just include casting Carpet of Flowers. All right, hidden land drops. They still don't cast my spells, but eventually I will need colorless mana for some of the stuff I'm doing. Xander's Lounge in the mix. Their Deafening Silence means they can't protect their own spells either. If they go for like 4th Aerolingus or anything. Quantum Riddler. This is, I think, okay for now. It's just 2 mana draw card. It gets warped away and they can cast it again in the future. Brainstorm. Quantum Riddler's not very good against Ice Fang Coatl. Hedge Maze. We're out. We're doing it. Mystery and Forest on top. Cool. Now opponent's under real pressure to make something happen here. There's a Quantum Riddler in the Warp Zone. I do like how they've animated Warp on Magic Online. This like spacey purple border. I understand what it's conveying. It's a Fairy Time Reveler. Well, I'm obviously countering that. And they can't counter back because of Deafening Silence. Here's my land. I'll play that, and I'll play Carpet of Flowers. This is my spell for the turn. Or my non-creature spell for the turn. I can cast Ice Fang Coatl, or I can save Coatl as a blue card for force. I'm going to make green and play Coatl. Let's go. I got creatures in my deck. Let's use them. Manipulate Fate. That'll be good next turn. Or it's a good blue card for force. Either way, I'll take it. Pretty close to a giant food chain situation. Roxas's Bargain. That's your spell for the turn. That means I can seek the quest the seek with Reckless Abandon in the end step. They dumped 2 lands, including Underground Sea. They have Xander's Lounge in play, so domain is complete. Don't need Underground Sea. Tamiyo is a creature. A end step, Beast mode, Seek it. Endurance and Uro, sick. That means all of those are castable. I am not beholden to Deafening Silence at all here. They have 4. Oh, Leyline Binding. They're going to take out my carpet here. 1, 2, 3. It would cost me endurance, but I get to keep Force of Will. Can I just win? I don't know yet. If I draw a land, oh no, I can't manipulate Fate and Food Chain. I think this is big enough. I am going to fight over this. All right. Oh, I already drew for a turn. They did that on my draw step. All right, I'll make a bunch of green mana. How's that sound? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 3, 6, 7, 8. I can Questing Druid first here and get the counters. Questing Druid. Uro. Oh, what the fuck? I mistapped? God damn it. All right. Well, might not get to endurance after all. Hit a forest, hit a forest, hit a forest. Damn it, damn it, damn it. All right. Well, that was bad. Okay. Lost track of that one for a second and it got away from me. Enjoy your graveyard and enjoy attacking with Tamiyo, which is actually important. Here's this thing. It gets back a 3-drop, which is Teferi Time Raveler. Good thing I didn't clear their graveyard last turn. Now I have to spend 2 cards to do it. I pitched the food chain because I don't think that's what this is actually about. I can Veil if they force back here. They have not cast a non-creature. Okay, get rid of all that. Warp nothing. That could have been so much better. It's fine, it's fine. Play around. Ninja of the Deep Hours. Brainstorm, sure. Tamiyo flips here. I think I am going to Veil in the end step just to draw a card. Because I can't use Veil to protect stuff with Deafening Silence in play. Veil of Summer. Draws a card. Yes, make blue. I'll make blue. And then I'll go green, green, Uro. This makes Questing Druid bigger. I can put Tropical Island into play. So where's Leyline Binding? This is probably going to take Questing Druid. Oh no, they're more interested in Uro. It's fine. Force of Vigor. I've heard that's good against Leyline Binding. All right, I'm going to attack Tamiyo for 2. And it's your turn, opponent. Tamiyo plus. They have multiple things in exile that they could just play here. It might be Quantum Riddler time just for the stats. 4/6 draw a card. Pretty good. This costs 5 on the way back in, which means it can get back. It cannot get back Leyline Binding. But I'll make a big boatload of green. Force of Vigor, Leyline Binding, and Clue. Force of Negation, pitching Brainstorm. Alright, I am basically out of juice here. That turn where I misused my mana and couldn't endurance them for free, costing me 2 cards, was just disastrous. This Quantum Riddler can't really do anything, but Tamiyo is ticking up. Quantum Riddler can block, which is pretty important. Them having Deafening Silence and Force of Negation in their deck shows massive commitment to fighting over Food Chain in a way that is not that meaningful to me. Ponder. Alright, they can't spell anymore, but I can't do anything. There's a Pyroblast in my deck somewhere that could get this Tamiyo off my neck, but the Reclaimer can just get it back. Ponder, I'll take it. Carpet of Flowers, make blue. I do have a bunch of creatures in my deck. If I can get Questing Druid big enough to rumble, that would be nice. Misthollow Griffin and Beseiju. Okay. This is interesting. I can Beseiju Leyline Binding, which then draws Misthollow Griffin, which I can then cast. Alright, no shuffle. Destroy Leyline Binding. Uro triggers. Draws Misthollow Griffin. If they counter the Misthollow Griffin, then I can escape Uro this turn. Griffin. I mean, this was a lot of exciting stuff. It still loses to Tamiyo. And one of the sick things in this deck is if Uro eats Misthollow Griffin, it's still in exile, and I can play it again. They cracked a Clue. Are they thinking about countering this? That would be so good for me. They didn't fall for it. Okay. I wish attacking with Ice Fang Quaddle did anything. Like, if they block, I get Uro this turn, but why would they block? Stupid Tamiyo. Alright, Tamiyo is at ultimate mode. I do have enough stats that I can put an attack on Tamiyo. Here is Reclaimer. Oh, it's non-creature, non-land. Okay, I thought it was non-land. Alright, so they don't get the free Uro, but they do get a 5/4. I'm going to decline, and I'm going to attack Tamiyo with everything. I'm even going to throw the Ice Fang Quaddle in there for good measure. I need them to place a card in my graveyard, which they kind of have to do, actually. Alright. Make blue with Carpet. Green, green. Escape Uro, which puts Misthollow into exile. I can cast that again. I need Pyroblast here. That's not Pyroblast. There might be some fake universe where grinding through a Tamiyo emblem is possible. I'll play it out. Let's go. I got some big creatures. Yep, Tamiyo Ultimates. They've got 26 cards in hand, but they can only cast 1 spell a turn. Field of the Dead. Hell yeah. Alright, opponent's got a sweet deck. Plowing the Druid. Tamiyo shields are down. Certainly they don't have 2 Swords of Plowshares in hand. And moving to combat. Can Uro get in? Alright, Uro got in. Attack my opponent and attack Tamiyo with the 1/1. Opponent with the 6/6, Tamiyo with the 1/1 Death Touch. This will take something down here. They want to kill Uro. I'll take Quantum Riddler down with me. I'll take their whole board with me. How about that? Alright, that shit's all gone. Second main. Make blue off Carpet. Brainstorm. These cards are not bad. Put back Brainstorm and Questing Druid. And then green gets Uro, which puts Questing Druid back in my hand. And then I'll cast Endurance, which makes it harder for them to deck, which is kind of my win con, but it does remove this Uro from the universe. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm 1 short of Uro here, and I know my top card is Brainstorm. I can chill. Plowing Endurance. Okay, so they had a plow that whole time and decided to lose their board. They're betting on Field of the Dead to win this game, which is probably a good bet. Field of the Dead makes a 2/2. Pernicious Deed can get rid of their Deafening Silence, which is the only card that's keeping me in this game. They forgot to activate Tamiyo. Who needs it? End of turn, I will seek the Beast. Misthollow Griffin, Brainstorm. Alright, it's a lot of cards to play. Pyroblast. We don't hate that one. Yes, make blue. Cast Questing Druid. Cast Mist Hollow Griffin. Uro can eat griffins and reset them. Brainstorm is my spell for the turn. Amulet is a win condition. I'll put back Misty and Amulet here. Coatl I can play post Deed. I'm going to attack my opponent. We're still doing stuff. I'm up 2 minutes on the clock. I have a reasonable plan through the Tamiyo somehow. Okay, they deeded for 4. Everything's gone, including my Mighty Carpet, but I have enough lands at this point. I think I can figure it out. The Deafening Silence is gone, which is actually really important. Plus Tamiyo. There's a turn or two before I have to worry about Tamiyo. I think I'm going to hold on to this Pyroblast to try to cheese a win con through. Another Field Zombie. End step Icefang Coatl, which will draw Unstable Amulet. Draw that. Fetch, because I don't want the land on top of my deck. There's an Uro in the bin. Ponder in my hand. Alright, I'll start with Ponder. There's some Veil of Summers and stuff in my deck that still work. Squee! My opponent can never stop that. I don't actually want this Misty Rainforest, and I don't have a good path through it. I'm going to shuffle this. Amulet. Put that on the stack. Their Hardcasting Force. I am going to Pyroblast. Fetching in response. Hydroblast? Where are we going? That Underground Sea's back in their deck that they milled away 1,000 turns ago. Good job, Endurance. Alright, I'm going to see if I can spike Veil of Summer right now. I cannot, but I can spike another Amulet, which I can't play right now. Alright, I'll put those back, and I'll just cast Uro. Uro, green, green, blue, blue. Exiling 2 Mist Hollow Griffins. Keep that pressure up. I have to be a little cognizant not to deck myself here. I've got some Endurances left though, right? Or are they all in exile? Nope, they're all in exile. Never mind. I can't Endurance myself. Uro draws Amulet. I've got 3 Griffins available. 46 life. No attack. Alright, F6 party, let's go. Mystic Sanctuary. That's a zombie and a spell. Getting back Swords to Plowshares. There's another Uro in my graveyard. Good idea. I'm not going to trade with these zombies. I'm at 46, and if I find a food chain, having something to jumpstart my mana chain might be important. Alright, another Amulet. We had a big fight last turn about this. Are you still interested? Are you still interested? Yes. I am still interested in seeing if I can win this fight. Not with these cards, but there's a food chain in the mix now. We're moving towards something. Squee and Mist Hollow on top of my deck here. Because I can exile those with Seek the Beast and play them whenever I want. Griffin. And pass the turn. Tamiyo has already ultimated, so grabbing something like Force Will out of their graveyard would make some sense here. My 3/3 is bigger than their 2/2s. I can have good blocks with that. 3/3 is big enough to attack Tamiyo for meaningful damage. Reclaimer, this can get back Deed or Misty Rainforest. Pernicious Deed it is. That card's pretty awkward when tokens are your win condition. Now I will block with Icefang. I have a creature in play for food chain mana. And if they're going to deed and wipe up all their own dopes anyway, I'll not make that free. End step Seek the Beast. Which brings me closer to decking, but does straight up draw 2 cards, and I know that. Hydroblast, you got it. I think they forgot to use Tamiyo again. Take anything we can get here. Griffin, whoops, that was supposed to be from the exile first, but here's the one from my hand. Alright, shitload of Griffins. They could deed for 4 and be left with the only permanent. Depends on how aggressive they feel like they need to be here. What they should do is just leave deed in play and make sure they can never get food chain comboed. But clock's ticking. I have actually good blocks now. I'm drawing Squee. Here's that guy. Yeah, they're not even messing with Tamiyo. Not plussing, not mining. Minusing, not doing anything. I'm gonna pretend I forgot it exists. If they forgot it exists, so did I. Uh-oh, they remembered it exists. Now I have to do something. Does the second activation even matter? Like, that puts them closer to decking than me. I kind of prefer if they do activate Tamiyo again. Alright, they've been scared of this card the whole time. Are we still scared now? Force of Will, pitch cast with 8,000 mana available. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna pass. You figure it out. You got 14 cards in your hand. I'm just vibing. They're not attacking. They're not activating their planeswalkers. It feels like they're not actually playing the game anymore, and they're just trying to get caught up on clock by making me do stuff. But I can make them do stuff too. Another force, pitch cast. I'm going to attack Tamiyo with some Mist Hollows. Let's try to do something with that. They'll block at least one, which gives me something to eat for free with Uro. Uro's on the stack. Mist Hollow Griffin's back in exile. There's that plow we saw 1,000 years ago. We're just deeding for 4 right now. Interesting. That is a choice. All right, I'm going to cast Food Chain right now that I have 2 of them, and they just use their deed. And they can fight over this or be in some trouble next turn. Did they board out their Beanstalks, or are they just afraid to cast them now that this is what the game looks like? I bet they have a bunch of Beanstalks in their hand they can't actually afford to use. There's Uro. They're pushing damage now. But I'm fully F6'd. I got no tricks left here. I got Squee from the graveyard, Mist Hollow from exile, which actually does block insanely well. Oh my god. They might lose here, actually. Squee from the graveyard. Shifting Woodland. Target unstable Amulet. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have presented a win. Please respond. Or don't. That's better. Besageing my Food Chain. Alright, I'm gonna exile Squee for red. Food Chain resolves. Get Volcanic Island. It's still in the deck, it seems. Shifting Woodland resolves. Food Chain from hand. Brainstorm. We got them scrambling. There's a lot of Force of Wills already used. It's probably better to play Squee first, just so I get at least 1 exile, and then I can play the Mist Hollow. Yeah, I might have messed up that sequencing a little, but sweet. That was fun. Suddenly put them on defense from a combo. And I can copy Food Chain with the land next turn. Or are they going to like exile my land? They can get it right now while it's not a land. Sweet. Good call. Was this the game they countered my Force of Vigor 1,000 years ago? It must be, because this is game 2, and it wasn't in my deck game 1. Yeah, alright, there's that. Alright, I'm going to block Uro with Squee. That's just free money. I think they will win this game in real life, but there's a chance that they get reckless and deck themselves. Also at 33 life, I have time to figure this out. I don't actually know if I can present another loop, but I don't have time to check if that's true or not. Griffin, Squee, pass the turn. Swords of Plowshare is pretty bad against my creatures. I have more life than they have seconds on their clock right now. Here comes everybody. Uro attacking makes decking more likely. Block Uro, block Zombo. Take 7. And now it is my turn. They've got 14 seconds on the clock. We got the GGs. Yeah, I mean, this was super grindy. I'm pretty sure I'm dead this game, but what a match. We both used every bit of everything. Yeah, opponent said Shame for the Clock could have been interesting. Yep, I agree. We were deep in the dregs here, both in the bottom 10 cards of our deck with multiple engines firing. Good stuff. On to the next one. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables. In this YouTube series, hosts Patrick Sullivan and Patrick Chapin go set by set through Magic's past, leveraging their decades of experience as Pro Tour players and game designers to analyze the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a deep dive into the facts, mechanics, cycles, trivia, decks of the time, and historical context of the set. The hosts dig into notable cards of the era and their lasting impact today. Each set gets an award show where the hosts pick their favorite cards for categories such as Best, Worst, and Weirdest. And finally, give a letter grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/TheResleevables. I'm on the draw in round 4. I will keep my hand. Force Negation currently hanging out there, but the red half of my deck looking pretty good. Prismatic Vista, if they're a combo deck, it's show and tell. But more likely, they're just not a combo deck with that card in their deck. Wow. Basic Plains go. I like the confidence. Okay, I'm going to play Scalding Tarn and pass. I like the Lorwyn Plains, by the way. Fond memories of drafting this set. Okay, so this is... Oh, I just realized they have a Yorion. I was just going to say this is probably Black-White Taxes, but it's definitely Black-White Taxes. And I am not playing around Wasteland because I can't with my hand. I'm just going to lean into Hedge Maze and do the thing. I think I do like Ponder. Just having access to something if they just start stringing Wastelands together and ruin my life. I like playing the Amulet out, but if they have Felia right now, I'm going to wish I had Lightning Bolt. Disappointing. All right. It's fine. I'm trying to do something here. If they follow up with Recruiter the Guard and immediately tutor two things, I'll be pretty bummed. White Orchid Phantom. Okay. My deck is chock full of basics. This is fine. It's actually awesome because I can kill Felia with a Lightning Bolt. Or does it come in tapped? Damn it. All right. It does. Fine. Be boring and stupid. But I'm literally Nice Vanquaddle deck. I will not be mana screwed by this play. And I'm going to let the Orchid Phantom come back in and hit me before I use the Amulet, just to make sure I don't accidentally slurp up one of the things that I care about. Okay, I have a Squee. There's a Food Chain in my hand. I'm going to cast Ponder and see where that gets me. Gets me to a pretty good spot where I have a ton of lands available, including access to basic forest should I want it. They are currently tapped out of Caracas, so I'm going to Lightning Bolt, and I am going to Bolt. I'm going to combo them out or I'm not. The Galvanic Discharge is likely to be worth another card here, because Squee just stays in exile. Like, I could bank some energy here, tap Unstable Amulet, Squee goes to proper exile, where it's the same thing, and I get a new card. More likely that I'm probably just going to want to kill some creature, but knowing that those options are there is nice. Stoneforge Mystic. That one might need to die. Cauldron Complete in the grip. White Orchid Phantom attacking me. How do I win this game? I know I'm trying a land, but I have a land in my hand. Besage is kind of whatever. I need a creature to get things moving, is what I need. Yeah, maybe I just spend this turn casting Squee. If I'm going to do that, I need to fetch for the Thundering Falls. Ponder, I don't think I need more of those. Questing Druid is cool. Besage you as my land for turn. Play Squee. Opponent takes one. Even if they bash me with Cauldron next turn, I have them dead. And I have a Force of Negation that could stop certain things from happening here. Caracas bouncing Squee is weirdly disruptive. It just sets me back 3 mana. Right, Stoneforge, here's Cauldron. Yeah, I do wish I had thought about Caracas. I think I could have navigated this game safer. RO, my son. 5, 6, 7. I can go to 1, even if they bounce Squee and win next turn. Alright. Moment of truth. Do they see it? Okay, deal. That is the same as bouncing it, except worse, because I gain life. Alright. Food Chain is in 5, 6, 7, 8. I now don't even need a Galvanic Discharge to survive. I have Force of Negation if they have something that removes Food Chain that's not a creature. Disruptor Flute, that qualifies. Force of Negation, that. Okay, attack for a bunch. I think I want to just go to 1. They probably have Bowmaster. If they have fetch lands, then they have 2 colors. I'm going to discharge the Phantom, just to make sure I don't die to land Bowmaster after doing all this work. Wasteland, also weirdly relevant. No, it's not, because I can just play Questing Druid for my hand and go off with Food Chain. Okay, sweet. We're in business, team. Now they have to kill Food Chain with Squee on the stack. Removal spells don't matter for the creature. Alright, we're just doing it. Cool, alright. A little sloppy forgetting that Caracas exists, but got away with it. Yorion taxes, probably with a Black Splash. Force of Vigor, Disruptor Flute, Consign to Memory, all cards that I like. Cursed Totem turns off Stoneforge Mystic, but they're more triggered abilities than activated. I don't think I want that. Force of Negation, bad. Force of Will is mid versus Death and Taxes, but I am trying to push my own combo through. Endurance, don't need that. Uro is deceptively terrible versus Death and Taxes because they're a deck with 4 Caracas, and I don't play Wasteland. It's going to be combo or bust here. I like the removal spells. I could shave a Force. I can't cut a land. Mana Denial's part of their strat. It might be a Coatl. I think I like Questing Druid more than I like Coatl for value monsters. And Uro is solid mid-chain if I need to spike something or just a little life cushion. I think Uro is good enough to leave 1 in. Though maybe not. Maybe Uro is just worse than Icefang Coatl and Questing Druid here. I'm willing to try it. All of the cards I'm talking about are green for Force of Vigor, so that doesn't matter. I am slightly worse for Force of Will, but I'm down to 3 of those from the 5 I started with. I think this should be a really good matchup, at least on paper. Love this hand. It needs another land, but what else is new? Basic Plains. Now I have the perfect Force of Will. Thalia. I don't really want to play against this Thalia. Force pitching Mist Hollow Griffin. I'll draw a card. Force of Will, draw a card. Build your own Beanstalk. Beanstalk at home. I'm going to get a basic just to respect Wasteland and hope that my deck doesn't betray me. All right, we got away with it. Food Chain can go back. How many amulets do I need? How many removal spells do I need? It's more likely that I need another removal spell than another amulet, I think. We have finally found a spot after 4 matches that the basic mountain matters, and I don't have access to it. Thalia, okay. I'll take some work to get through. I'm just going to fetch a forest and hope to develop before they run me over. Consign in memory. That's good against some of the stuff they have. Not as good as a land would have been. The problem with fetching red dual there is they have Caracas, so they could just pick up and put back down the Thalia if I'm not actually permanently killing it or moving the game forward. Manipulate Fate. Busted. Draw 4. Squee. Griffin in exile. Another Food Chain. I'm good on those deck. Thalia. Not currently doing anything, but that could change quickly. Wasteland. Played around it. Okay. Yeah, that's how Thalia changes quickly. Recruiter. Just about the best thing they could have here. What do they get? Is there like a Cathar Commando or something that can kill Food Chain at instant speed? Skyclave Apparition does it at sorcery speed. Life total dropping steadily. Alright, my kingdom for a Scalding Tarn. So let me unlock red, and I think I can break out of this. Stoneforge Mystic. My kingdom! Alright, I guess I'm passing, taking a bunch of damage. Yeah, this is such a classic Death and Taxes game. It's like nothing actually like good or interesting happened. They just had Thalia, and I had to play her on Wasteland, and now I'm not playing Magic. Cauldron's in their hand. Thalia's attacking. Flickered nothing, valuing the damage over another tutor. And I'm basically dead, so it doesn't matter. Alright. Game 3, we're on the play. Basic Mountain, where were you? Do I want to play like a combo deck and have more forces in? Do I think that's better than Disruptor Flute? Yeah, maybe. Alright, I'll try this. One more force. Okay, basic Island Ponder to kick off the game. I will keep it. Show me Scalding Tarn. Bunch of stuff that I don't want. I'm going to shuffle. Force of Will. Yeah, my hand suddenly sucks. I could Disruptor Flute Wasteland and just not deal with that this game. Oh, that's so much better. Okay. Now I don't have to do that. And we can play a little wait and see here. A fetch. Are they actually just mono white with the fetch lands and everything? That's unusual. I actually think that Disruptor Flute on Wasteland is good enough that I'm just gonna get a Thundering Falls and play the magic I want to play here. I don't want another Force of Will. Barely wanted the first one. Okay, I'll pass and see what they do. Thalia. Discharge. 2 damage to that. Disruptor Flute naming Wasteland. Okay. I'm set up. I have a draw engine. I have some pretty good interaction. They do have 7 cards in hand, though. Ah, hell yeah. I mean, they have Skyclave Apparitions and stuff that they could use to clear my flute and then mess with me. But hopefully by then I won't need it so bad anymore. Recruiter of the Guard. I'm not going to fight over that one. Witch Enchanter. It's funny because it's a disenchanter. Do you understand the joke? Or do they need a land or do they need a disenchant? Caracas. Until your next end step, you may play those cards. I'm going to seek the beast right now, and then decide if I care about this Witch Enchanter. Shifting Woodland and Unstable Amulet. I kind of care about Shifting Woodland, but Force Blue card and access to Consign are both nice. Yeah, alright, you can Wasteland me. I accept. Okay, draw for turn. I'm going to play the Druid, put something on this board, and then I'll play out all the other cards too. Right now I have Force Blue card available, plus Consigned in Memory, which covers a lot of the things their deck can do between it all. And I have a 2/2, a Mighty Board Presence. I have 1/3 of my combo, and I get to draw another card. Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's fine. If they're just attacking me for 3, and they're spending 2 cards to deal with this creature, I am going to be patient and play it like I'm a combo deck. Unstable Amulet is in play, and I'll pass. Now Wasteland's on. If they have another one from hand that could pile up to be a problem, they also have to decide if they want to try to take out my red. Alright, they did have another one from hand. They can sit on 1 forever, and if I ever activate Shifting Woodland, kill it in response. Or they can just waste all my lands right now. Sure. Go nuts. Okay, pretty aggressive Wastelanding. I am drawing wild. I'll just go to my turn. Ponder, Amulet, bank something. Questing Druid. We like those. Ponder, another Amulet. Can I afford to get Wastelanded here if I grab another Amulet? I think I can. I'm doing it. Volcanic Island, another Amulet. This will start nickel and diming them really hard as the game moves forward. And I think I still have a land drop, so I'll hit here. Yeah, Hedge Maze getting paid. Scalding Tarn. I think I actually do want that. That's access to the basic mountain if they Wasteland me again here. And Questing Druid is my reload. This is not a card I can beat. I'm going to force it. That one's a huge problem right now. Next turn, Consigned in Memory can control it. But this turn, the tapping out was partially emboldened by access to Force of Will. The third Wasteland. Alright, it makes sense that they fought so hard over my Disruptor Flute. Glad I kept Scalding Tarn on top. Another Recruiter. Down to 1 card in hand plus whatever they tutor for here. Shifting Woodland is on, if that becomes relevant. Big swings for 3. I'm down to 10. Life total is dwindling. If I take 4, I go to 6, fetch down to 5, end step, seek the beast. Alright. I am committed here. Felia, 2 unknowns in the grip. I'll have a Questing Druid in play to block next turn if I still need to do stuff next turn, if the game isn't over. Which is, of course, the result I'm hoping for. End step fetch, basic mountain time. Seek the beast. Opponent takes 2. I don't think I'm going to cast 10 spells from exile this turn. But every point matters. Consigned in Memory and another Questing Druid. Alright, which one of these is which? Oh, on an adventure. Alright, there is some flavor text reminding me. Cool. But I think I want to play the Seek the Beast first. I'd like to hit a land drop. Alright, I hit a bunch of land drops. That's good news. The bad news is I'm almost dead. Volcanic Island, Questing Druid from Adventure. Might as well leave up the basic island to play around Wasteland as much as I can. So what they can do here is play Felia, attack with everything, exile Questing Druid, but I can consign that trigger and then block a 2/2. This is going to be really tight. I've not seen a food chain or a loopable creature in half my deck, and I'm starting to run out of options here. Disruptor Flute. Alright. Did they just know how to name Consigned in Memory here? It's a card they've seen, unfortunately. Yep. Alright, good play. Well done. And I don't have the green card to pitch to Force of Vigor. Cool. I mean, I think this matchup is good, but we did just get squeezed out. Good stuff. On to the final round. We're a few rounds into the video. If you're still here and having fun, remember to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to play what I'm playing, use code BOSH for 5% off your order at toamagic.com. Eternal lives here. I'm playing the final round. Positive record on the line. I am going to keep this hand full of excellent cards. Bonder. Do I want a removal spell? Do I want a second amulet? I am missing a removal spell, and I am dead to combo anyway. I will bank that Galvanic Discharge and see what we're up against here. We're up against Wasteland. That's fine. I'm good against that one. Scalding Tarn can play Galvanic Discharge and set up Unstable Amulet. Like if my opponent just plays Dragon Straight Channeler here. My goodness. What a twist. I think I actually want to flush out Daze if they have it. Because this is sick if it works, because I get to bank 2 energy and still kill the creature. Yeah, that was dream scenario. I'm going to fetch Island and play an Unstable Amulet right now. With energy to spare. My opponent might be setting up a Core Steel Cutter. There's that one. Bobble. I guess I need to be more aggressive with these amulets. Like, in my head, I wasn't going to force a Quarry Steel Cutter, but I probably would because I have Griffin. It's probably worth it. All right. Amulet. Food Chain. Opponent draws a card. I draw a card. Do I want Coatl? I think I want Coatl in play the most here. Because that's potentially a win next turn. But Lightning Bolt's really easy to break that up. Yeah, I think I'm going to pass and just have Coatl available. Coatl could also just trade with a Monk. Like if they cast 2 spells, make a second Monk, I can block the one without Trample and start to stabilize. B-Storm. All right, fresh Monk created. Lightning Bolt's really good against my position right now. This damage adds up really quick. Bobble, a bunch of extra prowess. Bobbling me, that won't be there soon. Fetch for basic. Forest. Play Coatl. Hope they don't have Lightning Bolt. But of course they do. It's Delver and they've seen like a third of their deck already. This is what their deck does. And I'm taking 9. Happens fast. Life comes at you fast. That's 6. They have 3 cards in their hand. It's about to be 4. Alright, I guess I need the life buffer of Uro here. Still probably won't be enough. But I'll try it. And this is good enough to Force of Will, I think. It's really easy to kill me if I don't gain 3 life here. Yep, Force Pitching, Brainstorm. Hard to believe this is the same game that we got to kill a Dragon's Rage Channeler and bank 2 energy in. I could bank another card, burn off the Food Chain, and just hope to see a removal spell. That's probably necessary, but if they trigger the Cutter, that's 2 for 6 damage. I'd have to fetch to 1. Alright. I'm not winning this game. Quarry Steel Cutter. Dealing 20 damage over the course of 2 turns. Feels good. Carpet of Flowers, Force of Vigor. Force of Vigor's weird answer to Quarry Steel Cutter, but it might be necessary. Pyroblast, Veil of Summer Endurance. Like, these are all ways I can meet them on the battlefield a little better. I don't like Force of Negation. Probably like Force of Will less than Pyroblast and Veil of Summer. Uro's part of the plan. I like the removal. I think this is a match I could play without Squee. I could honestly cut a Food Chain, because I have to... I'm not going to be able to turbo combo into what their deck does. And I can't afford to draw 2 Food Chains when I'm not stable yet. Like, in that last game, I couldn't afford to draw 1 Food Chain when I'm not stable yet. Achieve stability and combo at my leisure is the plan. Okay, knowing I'm up against Delver, I like that I have stable mana. I like that I see more cards. Brazen Borrower can buy some time. I don't like that I don't have removal or carpet, but both of those are pretty thin draws. I have 4 removal spells in my deck and 1 carpet. Can't be mulling looking for that. Glad I boarded out a Food Chain. Already stuck with 1. Can't afford to draw another. One went to 6. I'll take any help I can get. Please cast Ponder. Please cast Ponder. No, that's a creature. It's like they're not even listening to me. Okay, Brainstorm. I think I'd rather Brainstorm this turn than try to aggressively Brazen Borrow a Dragon's Rage Channeler. Amulet. I don't need 2 Griffins. Do I need any Griffins? I mean, Amulet, Griffin, Food Chain puts the combo in my hand. But I kind of want every one of these cards more than I want any of those ones. I could just shuffle away the Food Chain. Yeah, I don't think, like I've said, I don't think sending it is the solution to this matchup. So I'm gonna try to turtle up. If I just get run over, that was gonna happen anyway. Another Channeler. Like, I would just rather have Endurance in this spot than Food Chain, and it's not even close. Right, this guarantees 2 card types in the graveyard. That makes 3. And they got one of the hard ones in Creature. Creature and Artifact are the hard ones to get in. The harder ones, Instant Sorcery Land, are basically comped. Build a land. Preordained. There it is. I think I have to fetch. I don't even have a commercial district, is what I would actually want here. But I think I have to fetch into Wasteland and try to get an extra look at Endurance. That's my primary way to win this game. They surveilled away a Wasteland, maybe giving me enough credit that I can play on basics, which I actually can't do because of the pressure. I'm going to get Hedge Maze. Try to set up double green for Endurance. Icefang Coatl. That buys me some time, but it's not what I'm looking for. Yeah, that is what I'm looking for. All right, I'm going to pass. There's no Force Wills in my deck. Daze is going to cook me. I'm just going to try to wait till the last moment to play this Endurance. Float a green. Yeah, I think I should just cast Endurance. I could pitch cast Endurance to try to play around Daze, but that doesn't solve my problem. I'm still down 2 cards, and they're still attacking me with a handful of 4 cards. The old hard cast Daze. The maximum disrespect. Okay, Unstable Amulet. I'm going to brainstorm. I have to hit a land. Did find a land. I have enough Mist Hologryphins deck. You can stop. I guess I'm going to put back an Amulet. And already exposed to Wasteland. Keep playing into it. Buy some time against one of these things, I hope. If I can bounce this, get attack to 5, and then play a Mist Hologryphin, then they have 2 of them. It doesn't matter. I'm so dead. Yeah, just obliterated here. This was tough. All right, and the Wasteland's going to seal it. Okay, so the deck felt much better in terms of construction. I don't feel like I lost to the cards I choose to put in my deck. I did feel like I lost to the fact that the format has moved way past this sort of thing. There were some games where I got to just kind of straight line to the combo. There were some games where we wiggled back and forth, did some cool stuff on the way to the combo. There were games where I just cast enough Mist Hologryphins that I didn't need a combo. But there were a lot more games where my opponent had Entomb and Reanimate, or just a 1-drop and then Daze to back it up. Dying in 2 turns to Quarry Steelcutter was certainly an experience that cards like Squee the Immortal and even Lightning Bolt and Galvanic Discharge, Icefang Coatl don't really help against. We actually got pretty lucky not playing against any Bowmasters at all with our deck full of Icefang Coatls. I'm not sure what it would take to make this deck actually competitively viable versus the top of the metagame right now. We can construct it as well as we can, and sometimes it still is like we've done everything we can, and it's just not time for this. I don't know if maybe no Uros and 4 Endurances. Like, you could probably play 1 Squee, 2 Griffin. That's still enough things to manipulate Fate for, and you'll find them often enough. And it doesn't really matter to have the 3rd or 4th Griffin in the deck. You could play without Squee and just play 3 Griffins if you think the blue card is worth more than saving the mana, which might be true. Having 1 Uro for the grindy games that can exile your Griffins that went to the graveyard for a 2nd round is pretty busted, but what grindy games are being played in Legacy right now? The format is mostly combo. I think tragically Food Chain is just slower than all the combo decks and not resilient enough for all the aggro decks. Just perfectly squeezed out as a mid-range combo control deck that isn't better at the existing decks at doing anything. I don't want to end this video on a bummer, because I did have fun playing this deck, made a lot of cool decisions, got some cool wins, had some narrow losses. The construction of the deck has clearly improved dramatically from the last time we played it. And there's still other stuff you could do if you want to tune it for specific stuff, like playing more Endurances or more removal spells. You might even be able to play like 2 or 3 Food Chains instead of 4 and get yourself some more slots, because just turboing it out basically never happens, and it's pretty bad when you're not comboing. Plenty to still explore in the shell for anyone who wants to do that. But for me, I'm happy with the improvement to the base construction of the deck from the last time I played it. Felt so much smoother. Felt like we had a chance in games, and our hands weren't full of like 8 Progenitor Ooze and cards that don't matter. I'm going to leave this one here. Felt way better. As a deck, felt way worse against the metagame. Tough spot for Food Chain. Brad, thanks for sending it in again. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon to support the channel, and I'll see you next time.